What's up, everybody? Janus, San Antonio Metal Music Examiner here at the 2013 Rockstar Energy Drink Mayhem Fest with none other than the lead singer of Huntress, Janus. How are you?
Very good. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for being here. They just got off stage about an hour ago, and yes, I saw the set. Intense, hot. I mean, those are basically the two words I would use to describe it. Let me hear in your words. How was it up there?
Texas, you're burning the witch. I just give such props to anyone that came out today to see us. I mean, we're the second band on Mayhem Fest on the Jägermeister stage, and the crowd today, so much energy and passion. It was just great seeing you out there. I know it takes a lot to come out at 1:30, especially for me to come out on stage with all the costumes and really bring it and still have the breath control. It's been a real experience.
Yeah, well, you guys saved Texas for last, right? I know you got nothing to do with the routing of the fest, but Texas is last.
It's all right with me.
What do you think of Texas? It was awesome so far.
Well, God, metalheads thrive in Texas, man. We always have a great reaction, great crowd response. The fans are awesome in Texas, always, so we're really happy to be here.
I have to confess, after all the incredible singing and the screaming I heard you do, I was like, man, is Jill going to have enough voice left to do this interview? But here you are. And I know you work with a great vocal coach. You sang opera when you were very young. What's the one or two biggest things you take from your opera lessons as a youth into the metal style of singing?
Really, it's about a strong work ethic, first and foremost. Understanding that the work never ends, that if you're going to be a vocalist, especially tackling the type of metal vocals that I do with multiple voices and the wide range, what's really key is that you stick to your warm-ups. I have Melissa Cross is my vocal coach, so I do her warm-ups every day. Very strict with my vocal rest. I can speak to you now, I don't lose my voice. It's really because I have a very strong training from my childhood. Really, it comes from breathing, like the breath. It all starts with the breath. It's hard for me to, I speak like a vocalist, so sometimes people may not quite understand, but it does come from the breath and the support of the diaphragm. And keeping up with your health is vital. Of course, lots of water, but salt is really important, especially in these types of heat. So I'll be backstage doing water and then a little bit of salt on my mouth like a little deer. It's really just, you have to surrender to the voice. You have to understand that this is everything. I'm living for my purpose. So for me, it's easy. But yeah, that classical training is now the foundation for my scream.
And the debut album from Huntress came out last year, Spell Eater, and just last month, Starbound Beast came out, their second album, an incredible record. Go pick it up if you haven't checked it out yet. Go see them on the last couple dates of Mayhem Fest. Biggest difference for you between the new record and the first record?
The first record, Spell Eater, was our maiden phase. We're very, very much in the infant stages, and it was very, it was more produced just because we had more time, you know what I mean? And now the second album, we did it in less than a year of releasing our first album, and that's the goal, is to do 3 albums within 3 years. This new album, Starbound Beast, is a little more thoughtful. We had to do an album quickly. We knew who to call. We called Zeus, and he created a very modern, current-sounding metal album without sacrificing our integrity, and that is vital to our existence. Now we're in the mother phase, speaking as a true pagan. So we're going to have a little bit more thoughtful. The musicianship's better. The songwriting's better. We have a new band member, Ann Procomo, now on the team. So you can just get this overall sense that there's this newfound confidence, and it really is the natural evolution of Huntress. It's very organic sounding. Now the third album, which we'll be releasing next year, so 3 years, is the crone phase. So you can plan on it being, again, vicious, horny, old. That's what she's about, so we're having a lot of fun writing that now.
And of course, one of the songs on the latest album is I Wanna F You to Death, which they just played live. Something tells me you probably won't get ever tired of telling this story, but that lyrically was written by Lemmy and Motorhead. How did the collaboration come about with you and Lemmy?
Lemmy and I are friends. I've known him for a few years. I asked him if he would write a song for the next Huntress album, Starbound Beast, and he sure did. He handed me the lyrics, and it was, I Wanna Fuck You to Death. My first reaction was, this is the most romantic thing a boy has ever done for me. So we're so honored, and it's such a privilege to have the godfather of heavy metal give you a song like that. Our minds are blown. It's been such a magical year for Huntress, and it's not slowing down.
And speaking of that, it's a great segue because right after the next couple of Texas dates on the Mayhem Fest, you'll be going on tour with Danzig.
Yes.
And then in a couple of months, Lamb of God, Killswitch Engage, and Testament, all with Huntress.
Break it out.
Yes, you have to be. So, obviously, Glenn Danzig, Jesse Leach, Randy Blythe, Chuck Billy all have different vocal sounds and style compared to you.
Well, Randy and I share the same teacher.
Right, Melissa, right. But is there any, do you envision yourself going up to them for any tips backstage throughout the tour at all? Or?
Of course. You know, what's so cool about being on the Mayhem Festival is getting to meet bands that we admire and we learn from. That's been the coolest part of being on this tour. You know, it's like a big family and everybody's here to support each other. There's no competition. It's just everyone's here to help each other out. So I spend a lot of time in the wings watching them on a mark and just getting a sense of, you know, their stage design, their set design is so cool. You know, and just really, I'm really interested to talk to Randy because he has this ability to scream that I just gives me chills. I can't wait to pick his brain a little bit. And of course, Danzig.
Yes, yes.
What can I say?
Right. Well, you know, I couldn't help but reading a little bit about, you know, checked out the band's website and everything, read your bio, and part of that was your background as far as before you came into Huntress, working in New York City and so forth. And apparently you were at the World Trade Center, like what, hours before the first plane hit the Twin Towers, you were there. That obviously had to be surreal and just your home basically just changing forever. Can you even put into words what your time in New York was like and then just leading up to that?
Well, when I graduated from high school, I was fortunate to receive a scholarship to attend a conservatory to study opera and vocals, music theory. But after school was done, I needed a job. And rather than get a regular job, I decided I wanted to get into nightlife and promotion to fund my music career while I was looking for musicians for Huntress. I've been looking for 10 years, by the way, so it's you know, been uncompromising. Started to do nightlife, and that really started to help me fund my music. And I was a promoter and did Last Party at Windows on the World, Floor 107, Tower 1. I was there on September 10th, 2001, and I did a show there for about 3 years called The Stereo Show. It's like a cabaret / nightclub. I DJ'd. Around 2 a.m. on September 11th, I deposited my check at Citibank in Tower 1. A few hours later, the first plane hit, and at that point, we were locked in the city for about 3 days. We couldn't go anywhere, but it was cool. We just all walked around and went from restaurant to restaurant. We were just giving out free drinks. And we really saw, again, a real sense of camaraderie and love within the city at that time. And it was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. But from that comes change, and without that experience, I probably wouldn't have ever come to Los Angeles, and I don't think I would have met my boys, the Professor and Dark Black, who joined forces to create Huntress. So, in the long-term sense, you know, everything happens for a reason.
And of course, Jill, you practice witchcraft. How does one get into that, and what's the biggest misconception that people have out there, that or fans that meet you for the first time that aren't, you know, privy up to what it's all about? What's the biggest misconception you get from people?
First of all, I don't encourage anyone to get into witchcraft. It's something that has been in my family for years. It's something that my eccentric parents have always encouraged, especially psychic abilities and honing in on visualization. So for me, my pagan ways have just been since childhood. I wouldn't really encourage anybody to do this. Again, I always have a veil. I never fully lift it. Regarding my practice and you know, the secret sites, witchcraft guides all aspects of my life and always has. I wouldn't ever really even speak of it. So many people didn't realize that I was pagan until they started reading my lyrics. And they were like, what's going on here? So Huntress has a lot of occult imagery and a lot of occult names, and I receive my lyrics in a trance, always have. So that just opened up the gates. One thing I will say is stay in the path of light. The biggest misconception about witchcraft is that it's evil, and it's not. I'm one of those witches that likes to smoke weed, hang out with animals, eat shrooms, and play with fairies in the woods.
Sounds like quite a life. That's awesome.
Well, whenever I'm not on the road, that is the life.
Yes. Well, thank you, Jill, so much for taking the time. We're going to let you go. Thank you for the privilege of shooting the band's set in the photo pit. It was very energetic, very rocking. So go check them out. If they're not coming to your town on the rest of the Mayhem Fest, go check them out on tour with Danzig, and of course, like we said, with Lamb of God, Testament, Killswitch Engage. So, for Jill Janus, this is Jay Nanda, San Antonio Metal Music Examiner. Don't hang them out to dry. Hold them up high.